So the plan of attack is we're going to do macros, we've got proteins done, and then we're going to do training. Yo, what is up everyone? Welcome to knee rehab and joint health. Full disclaimer, I'm not a doctor or a healthcare professional. If you are someone who has like a broken knee or a fractured joint, go see a healthcare professional. Heck, I recommend you go see Dr. Mason. She's my referral partner that I work with. The reason I use Dr. Mason is one, she has a scanning device on site, and then she can see what's actually going under the hood. She's a multi-skilled practitioner in chiro, so she can adjust, she can do trigger point release, she can do cold laser and dry needling. So if you're someone who has fear of working with a chiro, what I love about Amy is that she has the skills to work around it. So it's not like, nah, you have to be cracked. It's more like, cool, let's do some dry needling or let's do cold laser. So she gives certainty that you're going to be looked after. But Karl, what if I live in Des Moines or Alexandra? Don't worry, I've got people in there. So I've got Luke Ross, I've got physio Zach, who I highly recommend as well, and they work in a company called Sports Lab. I recommend those guys because they are skilled professionals they're also multi-skilled practitioners as well. So it's not like one thing and you must do that. They've got this amazing skill set that they can pinpoint something and give you some variations in skills. Just like our trainers here at Vitruvian Health, we've got structural balance assessment, we then do corrective exercises, and then we design programs based off what we see and what works for you. And that's what this episode is to bring you to. So enough about the referral partners. Now to talk about the episode here is Renata Bliss. You may know her from her great TikToks and Instagram videos, but she came to us starting her PT career, and then she showed me how she was training and moving. And no word of a lie, I actually slammed the bar back and I was like, don't ever squat like that again. This is why you're hurting your knees. And she's like, what would you know? And I was like, well, and then we worked on it. The thing with knee rehab or joint health is a muscle when it contracts. So if the bicep contracts, it flexes your elbow joint. So the muscle will pull that forward. Alternatively, the muscle underneath, like your tricep, is lengthened for the bicep to contract. Very simple terms. I don't try to sound smart like the other people. That's why we refer to them. But simply, muscles work what's called agonist, antagonist. Simply, they work together. It's like when you're at work, there are a team of people that you work with. You might be the admin, and there might be the sales guy, and there might be the processes person, and the HR. There's a team of people that are experts and specialize in their area. Just like your muscles, the bicep works flexing here. The tricep works and lengthening here, whilst when we extend, the tricep flexes, the bicep lengthens. If there is an imbalance in strength in those muscles, this is where maybe some complications can occur. And look, we're not talking about getting hit by a bus or a car or blunt force trauma. We're just talking how these can work. So when we looked at Renata's rehab, we definitely saw that her hamstrings were not working. Now, a lot of the time she's like, yeah, but I feel them when I stretch. If we think of her pelvis, so if we think of this bottle, your quads are here, your hammies and glutes are here. She has an anterior tilted hip, so these muscles are tight and these muscles are stretched. Stretched does not mean stronger, and tight does not mean stronger. Tightness occurs to make something stronger, to compensate. So by strengthening her hamstrings, this would force the hip flexors and quads to lengthen. What's the problem with that? If they're not strong enough, they're just going to tighten back up. So we would work her hamstrings and then work the hip flexors and quads. So when we were training, and when it comes to knee rehab and joint health, we look at 4 fundamentals. And this is kind of our baseline that we work from. So we do our tests, we have a bit of a theory that these are the muscles to be worked, but then the fundamental things we check in with ourselves. 1, can we progressively overload this exercise? So for hamstrings, if we start at 7 kilos, can we go heavier? That's where we've got a hamstring curl, that's where we've got Nordics, heels on bench, Romanian deadlifts. Yes, we can progress those. But what about the skill? So we could go from a heels on bench hamstring curl, basic skill to begin with, and then we can progressively increase the range, or we get it a stand, complexity, Romanian deadlifts. So there's more demand. So we can progress it many ways, which is great. We can also regress it if there are complications. So for Renata, when we were doing certain movements, or she's going out to party, Renata, if you're listening, I didn't agree to some of those parties, but heck, she wants to enjoy life, so of course she would do that. So she would come to me and be like, I hurt my knee. I'm like, that's okay. Professional coach goes, okay, how did you do it? what's going on. So we would regress those options so we can build it back up. So can we progress? Yes. Can we train through full range of motion? Yes. Or can we reduce the range of motion for control? So for example, if we think of a 90-degree angle, let's say that's Renata's control. Awesome. Progression could be now 100 degrees. So if we can increase her range after a set or two, we're able to progressively work that. So we assess her range of control. We start a little bit shorter, and after a few exercises, we get a little bit better. Number 3 is time and attention. If she can only like that muscle can only control 30 seconds, our goal is to create intensity in a 20-second or less window, and we gradually increase time and attention on that muscle. So we've got several variables to progressively overload. So if we have an injury or a strain, we don't keep doing this exercise, we make a change, but we make some adjustments maybe to the range or the tension on the muscle, and we look to progressively build that over time. So if she went from 30 seconds, but now can do 60 within 3 weeks, that muscle is better. Cool? Progress photos, definitely take them to track. But then the last thing, which is a biggest tell, if it's working on it, is no pain. So progressive overload, time and attention, full range of motion, no pain. So there were some movements that made sense, like Renata should be able to do it, definitely recommend it. It's going to work the hammies and the glutes. She's like, yep, totally agree. Boom, feeling pain, stop. So just because logic makes sense doesn't always mean that the body's going to respond the same way. So if there is pain, be mindful to make a change. And this is why it's great to have several variables. So we have the bulletproof system, but we also have the regression progression chart. So if you comment below regression progression, you'll get access to that chart. And heck, let's pop it up right here, right now. And if you're looking at this chart, you literally from the top to bottom, high skill, scroll all the way to the bottom, low skill, easy to do. And literally you've got hinge, squat, vertical press, pull, push, pull. There are all the variables that you can track and log. This is kind of how my brain works. When I see someone move, I'm like, what are all these exercises? Which one's the best one for this person? How to get the most out of it. So that's what we're looking at when we start. Now, to rebuild her body, to fix the knees, we have to look at the ankles and the hips, because the ankle and the hip are mobile joints. The knee is a rigid joint. So we're looking at not just resting, but rebuilding. So in simple terms, we're looking at what is going to heal or get more blood to this area, because blood provides nutrients. So rather than just hamstrings, I was doing calf raises for her, didn't put strain on the knee, good. So that was below the knee and worked from the ankle. And then I'm thinking the hip, which was hamstring curl. And so those are going to get more blood. So high rep, we're talking like 30, 40 reps to get calves is 60, but with lots of blood flow into that area. So low load, low risk to pain, and helps to rehab. The second thing is look above and below, as I said, with the knee joint, but then we're going to be looking at wanting to lengthen the muscle. So, we might start calf raises on the floor, and then we start on a step. So we're building on her length. Great, feeling good, no more pain. So the key here, and this is the third part, the key to that rehab, which is you've got terminal knee extensions, glute bridges, ankle dorsiflexions, isometrics. We're now starting to work on the exercises that are going to strengthen the muscles. Because if we can strengthen and progressively overload that area over time, strength, in my belief, is the ability to control full range. So if we have pain, we don't have control of that full range. So we've got to find other ways to work around it. So you've got the rehab training fundamentals. To the next level is to heal, lengthen, and strengthen. And this is where frequency will matter. Now, it's not about like, well, Karl, I train chest twice a week and that's, optimal enough. No, we're talking, if we're looking to rehab something, we're looking at small dosages over time. We're talking like 10 to 15 minutes daily. There will come a time when you're going to get stronger and stronger, and then you're going to lift a weight that is so challenging or loading on that joint or structure that it needs time to recover. Most people, I don't believe are strong enough, and this is where the injuries occur, and so we need to use the structural balance of the rehab protocol to get that back. And so that's why we do short stint daily to rehab it, to heal blood flow, to build on that confidence of lengthening those muscles, and then we start to strengthen it. And that's where the terminal knee extensions, the glute bridges, the ankle dorsiflexions, and the isometric works, like pausing it in range, will strengthen that end range motion so we have more control over time. So the last part is to educate and empower and to adhere to this. Educate yourself on the exercise of the work. Simple thing. If you do this one exercise, how does it feel? It hurts? Great, move on to another one. use the regression progression chart, scroll back to that section and just check out, hit pause and look at where, like, cool, what's that exercise? And look, use the Vitruvian Health Exercise Archive. So watch the videos from it. Empower yourself. By educating yourself, you'll be able to empower yourself and give yourself the confidence to know what to do. And just like with Renata, every time we would train, she was training twice a week with me, but she was doing little things daily to help herself that would empower her to have the confidence when she would go to the parties and move, that she wouldn't have to think, oh, if I do this, I'm going to hurt my knee. And the last one is just be consistent, adhere to it. Yes, I said daily, but if you're there going, Karl, I can only do 4 times a week, then only do 4 times a week. Heck, the fun thing is if you brush yourself, if you brush your teeth twice a day, and if you want to brush yourself, that's totally fine. He's got lovely long hair. I don't. If you're brushing your teeth twice a day, well, guess what? You can balance on one leg, bring your knee up to your chest, so single leg balance, 60 seconds on the left, 60 seconds on the right. That fundamentally will get the muscles working around the ankle, the knee, and the hip. And so you at least can do one thing daily, but if you believe you can't, that's okay. Do the thing that you can adhere to consistently, week on, week out. And if you ever get stuck, reach out and enjoy. Till next time. Cool, we just did protein powders already. Yeah, I like that.
Do you want to keep that order?
Yeah, I'd keep that there and we can talk more. Because then we can do the next episode, which is we'll actually have the bags of protein out